get rowdy, get raucous, and welcome to the stage. The reason that you're all here, Jillian, Patrick, and... You guys, I really don't want to take this wig off. I really don't. I talked about this last time. This is the hair I always wanted.
I was told Incense and Peppermints by Strawberry Alarm Clock would be playing. That's a real song by a real band. Welcome to the 60s. That's another song.
You guys, okay, wait. You have to talk to the people while I take this shit off. I was like, I'm going to wear this for exactly 5 seconds. I might put the wig back on. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
I was also told that there would be the Durstini. Who's drinking a Durstini? Which was not our thing. We did not know that there was going to be a cocktail about, or based on Robert Durst. What's it based on? I don't know. There's pear in it, and hopefully it has nothing to do with him personally. But I'm really excited to hear your glasses, girl. The ones that you can see through.
Hi, you guys!
Hello! Thanks for coming.
Oh my God, there you are!
Right? Look at how gorgeous.
Okay, wait. Who here is in the Patreon fam?
Woo!
Hi, Patreon fam! Who here had to take an airplane to get here?
The real heroes.
Who here, like, it lives more than 20 miles from right here?
Who here is coming to both shows? Yes!
Alright, I'm going back here to take this off because nobody wants to see what is underneath.
We do, though, is the thing of it. Thank you guys so much for coming. We had so much fun hanging out with you in the pre-show meetup. Thank you so much for coming. It was a little chaotic. We didn't really know what was going on, but are you all right?
I'm back. I'm not sure if that investment is worth it for the second show, to be completely honest. That was a lot.
You're going to be picking long hairs off you.
Oh, I kind of want to put the wig back on. All right, we'll see what happens. You guys, do you like our first professional picture? Do you want to know what we learned during our first profesh photo shoot?
Let's just show them.
Okay, ready, go. You will never see me take a picture not like this ever again.
That's how you don't have the double chin, everybody. Okay?
We were at
and
the
also
meetup.
an amazing photographer with amazing lighting and an amazing stylist.
It's true.
However, but just...
Thanks, girl. Daniel, thank you, girl.
You guys, you saw the shirt. Thank you, Daniel.
How handsome is Daniel, by the way?
Loving that shirt. Beverly, you guys do the same.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I wanted to tell this quick story. I've been saving it, and then we're gonna get to it eventually, you guys. Whatever, this movie is crazy. This morning, this is a true thing that really happened. So my daughter Daisy has a little medical thing that her sister got for her. We adopted Daisy through foster care.
Specify that it's a toy. When
It's
you
a
say
toy.
my daughter
It's
has
a
a
toy.
medical thing, everyone's heart just stopped.
So we don't have it. So her sister, we see a lot, but she doesn't live with us. So she gave Daisy this little toy that's full of like medical stuff, and Daisy's obsessed with it. And I literally wrote on Facebook, "Been playing doctor with Daisy all morning." It was amazing.
I started with my daughter is a medical thing, so I don't play doctor with her all day. Jesus.
I deleted that really quickly.
Thank God.
Yeah, but not quickly enough. Like, they got a comment. It was like question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark.
No, we really are good at this because we didn't rehearse that. That was good.
I know.
That
It's because I spent all night being like, how the fuck am I going to get out of that costume? You guys.
You did great. You look great before. You look great now.
You look great.
Thanks.
You guys, did you say hi to the garbage bell?
There she is.
Hi,
Well, it's the hero bell now
girl. It's a hero bell.
for you guys, but not for these bitches.
That wig is taunting me. I want it.
No, you don't.
I
It's
know.
making me so hot.
I know.
As someone who was taking her hair off of her neck in our waiting room, like, don't. You don't want it.
All right. Okay, fine. God.
Fine, God.
Damn it.
Thank you.
Your hair does look amazing.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Julia Pensavalli, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, let's do it for real. Let's all do it together. Let's do it as a family. 1, 2, 3. Julian Pensavalli.
Patrick Hines.
Yes! Alright. To get things started, you guys, because we're covering a documentary that happened during the Summer of Love, we thought we could tell quickly.
And Valentine's Day is just around the corner.
Yeah.
Better or worse.
But exactly. But we can tell the story of how we met our spouses really quickly. Do you guys see our super hot husbands? Where are you boys? Hi! You guys are so handsome. Okay. So when I turned, I think I was either 27 or 28, I decided it was time for me to get married. as you do.
You just decided that, like,
Yeah, but-
it's Wednesday, TikTok.
Yes. And I was like, listen, I'm not gonna like sit idly by and wait for the man to come to me. I'm gonna go find my man. And so what I did was I got on Match.com because it was 1872.
Come on!
And I was like, the thing about Match.com that I loved, I was like, you just go husband shopping. But my MO was, I can't do, and this is not a real thing, you guys. This is something that I did and it was dumb, it's not real. I was like, I can't do this until I'm skinny. So I got super skinny for one day. Who's thirsty? Who is thirsty? Look at the abs, like fake abs. I have never in my life, like I put the camera up on the thing and
You were doing the move, though.
I
You
was.
didn't even know it.
I was like, right, because we learned this at the photo shoot. You put your arms behind your back.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to like disappear. I want to be so skinny.
Let me ask you a question. Where is your hemp necklace? Is it
I
right
know.
off?
I know. Look at her. Look at her. Look at that waist. Oh my God.
Look at that futon. You guys can get rid That's a futon with like 4 blankets on it.
It's true. You guys, okay, this is so disgusting. When we moved out of that apartment, like years later, we took the we did not put the futon in there. This was not our futon, but we did live it.
You guys, 2 days ago, it's not a futon. Now it's like, here's a futon.
You guys, there was hair growing on the back of it. That's real. So anyway, I get at Match.com.
Wait, but this led to...
What? So this is what I'm saying. So what happened was I was on Match.com for like a year. I went on a bunch of dates. They were fine. I wasn't that into them or they weren't that into me, whatever. It was a week before my profile was going to expire and my friend Ellen was like, bitch, let me read your profile. And she reads it and she's like, this is so badly written. So she rewrites it, puts my full name in it. And I didn't know because I never read it. That's a big, don't do that, you guys. So
Don't put your full name, you mean?
Don't put your full name.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like Internet 101.
Oh.
So my subscription expired and I started getting notifications like Steve has messaged you. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not gonna like pay the $9 to resubscribe for the year and get this notification. But because Ellen had put my full name in it, Steve found me on MySpace. MySpace, yes ma'am.
He gave you a goo.
He gave me a 2007 goo.
It just goes to show the picture can be just not the best background, but you can now have the best.
Well, so
you can
look, we went on like 100 dates in a week. This is on like our first date. How basic is this? This poor man is so bored. It's getting to murder soon, I promise. But it's like, it's so Magnolia Bakery, it's so lame.
You guys aren't so happy. I love this.
And now, we have this. Look at that. Jillian pointed out, I was like, she's hailing a taxi. She's like, no, she's not. She's telling you guys to be quiet. No.
This is a mini Queen KZ in training. Will you please just let me do it? That's Daisy.
All right, that's my story. This is Jillian and Mike when they were, quote, friends.
Friends. So Mike and I were never friends. Mike and I started dating I had to wait like a week because my piece of shit ex-boyfriend wouldn't call me back, so I couldn't break up with him. He hated me, and I hated him. That, looking through the piano book, that is Horatio Sands.
This person right here.
Right, like he said, it was at a Christmas party that my parents would have. It's amazing. We sing around a piano. It's like
We get a Horatio Sands came to your parents' house.
And then that's my mom in the purple. Anyway, we were friends. Like my stupid ex-boyfriend is in that house somewhere, not noticing that we're clearly in love with each other. Obviously.
Then one time they got caught in the rain.
We got caught in the rain. Come on, right? Look at those eyes.
I know. They're popping.
They're popping.
They're popping.
You guys saw them at the commercial. It was so hot. I can't even stand it.
And then look at this. It's so cute.
And then we were like official, so that we could be like, okay, we'll hang over each other the same exact way we did at that Christmas party when we were friends.
All right, you guys, this is how we always. Oh, I didn't ask you this. Do we have any repeat offenders? Has anybody been to our live shows before?
You know that's a Columbo reference, right?
No.
When villains would play villains again in Columbo, they were called repeat offenders. Thank you so much. I feel very seen. Columbo reference. You know what's been bothering me? That's my Peter Falk. Anyway.
Oh well, speaking of you guys, we open our show with Jillian doing her like impressions that we love from the show. She doesn't know what they are. These are not rehearsed.
Oh, God. Oh,
Are you ready?
Yeah. This fucking bitch. Hello, everybody. My name's Ken
love this one. You guys, we're not making fun. Brendan has gone through it, but listen, I've had to listen to hours and hours of these goddamn phone calls. Yeah. Do it with us, guys. Yeah.
So, I was coerced into a confession in that, and
I know, it's awful.
Slow tear.
All right, let's bring it back up. The man of the hour.
I'm not cheersing to this piece of shit.
I feel like
I'm not going to be cheersing to it. I am just going to drink this and then request a second.
Wait, can you do the most famous line?
What? Okay, bye-bye.
Alright, this one is from our... Did you guys listen to our Fire Fraud episode? Remember Billy McFarlane's mom? You know he's here, Billy girl.
No, Billy's in prison.
Oh, that's right.
His mom.
For the husbands in the room.
For the straighties.
Yeah, Billy McFarlane. They were reading the testimony from his trial.
Transcript, so they couldn't get his mother to speak, so they had like this robot voice.
But then I was like, well, what if his mom's a robot? We don't know.
She's not. So she was just like, he was always the first person in his class. He was the first person to finish his times tables. I'm sure she's lovely. She raised a liar.
That's true. All right, this one's a little bit of a deep cut, but it's my favorite. Do you guys care when we do the dial-up modem? Ready?
Yeah. Whoa, whoa,
The first time we realized that we both wanted to do the dial-up modem in an episode, I think I screamed.
Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you something.
Oh.
This is a secret. I was going to try to keep it from you as long as I possibly could.
Oh my God!
That's a Hamilton reference.
It is?
And my shot. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Is he doing... Is that...
It's supposed to be the sound of a modem. Things transferring. Lin-Manuel Miranda told me
Lynn,
to sound
shut the
me and
fuck
Mike,
up for 5 seconds. Jesus, why is that guy so smart?
We're doing it in our show.
You know he's here, he just left. He's like, bye, bitch.
I know, I'll text you
Bye.
later.
Forget you. All right, ready? Another classic, an oldie but a goodie.
Oh God, I'm so scared. You guys are gonna get the 2 words and that is it.
Do you guys know Ashley from Crime Junkie? Do you guys know Crime Junkie? Let's say hi. We're videotaping this. Let's all say hi to Ashley.
We were trying to FaceTime with her.
We were trying to FaceTime before this, and we were like exchanging text. Like video messages the other night, and she was like, "Do the impressions," and she did a whole bunch, and she wrote back, she's like, "Warren Jester, it didn't happen."
Ashley has a dog. I can't get to it because it's gonna be 4 hours. He's amazing. Okay, 2 words. Here we go. I hate it. Keep sweet. If you guys don't keep sweet and keep hurting your destiny, shit's gonna get bad.
All right, here's another one from a recent episode. You guys, I was trying to tell somebody about Jarul the other day. I cannot say it any other way. It's Jarul. Jarul.
It sounds like Tim Curry as Rooster, where he's like, it's Cheryl.
Oh, I love that song.
Me too.
Is it straight?
Doesn't matter. We're not here for that.
The closest we're ever getting to singing on this thing.
Okay, so this impression, I love you so much for loving it, but I've been doing this one-line impression since high school when this was a thing with my best friend Ashley, so all it is simply, Jarul does this. Well, what I'll be without my baby. And then he's like, what's my motherfucking name, or whatever, something stupid. And then Shanti would be like, and they would like do 3.5 minutes of that. And then it ended up in Hamilton. I don't, where are we? What is the world?
All right, you guys remember the 3 Identical Twins episode? Every time I say that, people laugh. 3 Identical Strangers.
Yes,
3 are triplets, you guys. I know.
That's in the muscle
Thank you.
memory.
I get so much shit in the Facebook group for that.
Okay, cover me, Facebook.
Remember the wives?
I can actually do an impression of all 3 of them from the First Wives Club, too.
What? But then you also have to do the choral soaps.
No, yeah. Okay, so Bette Midler, who? Guns N' Roses? Goldie Hawn, what's a good one?
line of all time, apology screamed.
Well, it's sarcastic. If you've ever seen The First Wives Club 800 times, which if you haven't, I can't believe you got in.
All right, so the wives
this is perfect.
from Three Identical Strangers.
Eddie, okay, look. She was there when the contractor called. The contractor said that they didn't have the perfect choral. Okay, so she was there using my guest soaps, by the way, when we had to push back the date. So she knows. Okay, she knows. She knows what it meant to me. She came in, she didn't say a word. She used the guest soaps and the guest towels, and let me tell you, I'm not having it again. Okay, I know she's a sister. I know she's a sister-in-law. She's mine too. Okay, I have had it with her, and now kind of your shit, because how many ice cubes are in here, Eddie? 0. How many do I require? Yes, 2. So why don't you do that, and I'll do this. I mean, it's every time with him. He provides, okay? He provides. He's a nice guy. He's the best one, clearly. But it's like, he doesn't get it. I'm not dealing with her again. My soaps.
All right, amazing. You don't even need me. You can just do a one-woman show.
That's so not true. Breaking news, I waited until you put your drink down because I know for whatever reason you love this boy. You guys know that's also a Leslie Knope. I'm doing an impression of Leslie Knope's impression of a news reporter.
It's my favorite. All right, last one.
Give it to me, let me do it. Look, we're all gonna get arrested for something we didn't do and put in prison for the rest of our lives. I can only just give it to me. Just give it to me, I'll do it. Oh God, Dean and Jerry, I love you guys, but oh my God. I'll do it, I'll fix it. Hey Ryan, that's her saying hi to Ryan first.
Yeah, I'm sure that
she got out of prison.
Yeah. And you know, like her foxy assistant in the second season, I've just decided his name is Heath.
Oh, I was gonna guess Brad, but I'll
Yeah.
Oh, Heath I like. Heath I like.
Alright, you guys, we ready to see the preview for this fucking weird movie? Alright, let's do it. This is what we're talking about tonight. This
yeah, Charles
Welcome.
Manson.
Charles Manson.
Every girl ought to have a daddy like Charlie. Someone that treasures them as a woman. Someone that lets them do things for him. Whatever is necessary to do, you do it.
You may get an impulse and go out and kill tomorrow.
I know. Alright, listen, I've been giving this movie a lot of shit. It's actually really good. Don't you think?
The story's bananas. And this is rare footage that we haven't seen in a zillion years.
Yeah, so what happened was, right after the charges were pressed against Charlie and the family, this film crew was given by Charlie, he's my fucking friend.
They call him Charlie. They call him Charlie.
They give him, exclusive access, and he goes to wherever they live and interviews everybody there. And then this footage was lost for, 50 years.
Right, so there's a reason why, Sadie Atkins and all these people that you'll hear about are not in this footage. Because they're in prison. Because they're in prison.
So the first person we meet this guy, Paul Watkins. Have you guys watched the movie, yes or no? Okay. I don't know why I need to know that, but I'm just curious.
It's nice to know.
It is. So Paul is, you guys, it's the first time in the history of TCO that we have crossover.
We both think he's cute! Well, here's the thing, because Paul left the family well before the murders, which is nice. So he's the first murder-adjacent person that we both
it's true.
think is cute. And my whole thing is that my mom would be like, does he need his laundry done? My mom wants to make him breakfast and do his laundry and tell the girls, you're better than this, sweetheart. You do not need to be at that Spahn Ranch.
Also, Paul's lips are pretty fucking great.
He's a cute boy. He's just so this scene.
So okay, this is Paul.
Roll 1, 3, 6.
All we ever did
That's a flute.
amounted to smoking grass, taking acid, and making love as much as we could. If we weren't doing that, we were just leading up to it. If we weren't leading up to it, we were just doing that.
Okay.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, much like fire fraud, not a goddamn thing about this appeals to me.
Here's what I don't get.
Look at her doing her fingernails!
to a shot of any group of people. They're like, it was amazing. They're all lying down on top of each other. They're like,
Nobody better.
there's always like that one girl who's like, no, I'm just holding him up. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're all on LSD, which is like, girl.
I know.
Vodka is my anti-drug. Am I right?
It's true. It's true. We love Paul. That's all I'm saying.
We love Paul. Yeah, because he left early on. He like heard that they were arrested, and he was like, peace.
Later.
And so then they found him with his flute.
The rest of the girls have guns. He's got the flute.
He's clutching the flute like they clutch their guns. And I'm just like, Paul, are you all right? Paul, fun fact, ended up running the California Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, girl.
He got his act together.
You guys, are you ready for the mean guy from E.T. to tell us how awesome it was to be a hippie? Look at her!
Look how bad.
I know.
My name's Peter Coyote.
I know.
I'm the last ancient hippie, and I was a serious player in the counterculture. It was wonderful to wake up in the morning. You could get food, friendship, whatever you needed. People of like minds got together and they formed extended families.
Okay. Couple things about that.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to know Peter Coyote's real name? Because his real name is Robert Peter Cohen. Number one.
Do you recognize him from E.T.? Yeah. He's the one that wanted to, like, do all the tests.
Right, and he let E.T. go home. E.T. wants to go home. I can't even talk about it. I saw it once. My parents thought, like, I would love it. And they were like, oh, God, she's sobbing. Oh, God, she's sobbing. E.T.'s adorable. Also, here's the thing. Robert Peter Coyote, whatever the fuck your name is. It's super nice to wake up as you, the straight white dude.
Right.
In the 60s, there were many people who were like, oh, I'm sorry. It's
Right.
not so fun to wake up in the morning as me, a woman, as me, a queer person, as me, a person of color. He's just like, I was an actor.
Peter's like, quiet you. It was amazing.
Actually, from henceforth, Robert. Robert, sit down.
We never see him again. The only reason I included that is because it's the mean guy from E.T.
The last ancient hippie. We'll meet the last ancient hippie.
We're about to. Wait, look at this guy. Okay, this guy's name is Aesop Aquarian. He is very confused about what's going on here.
His name.
Yeah.
Would you guys like to know his real name? Mark James Rosen. His parents wanted him to be a lawyer. I'm just saying.
Oh wait, we find out in this that he's like a hippie, but he also is like / aspiring actor, sweetheart TikTok. But also, yeah, tell us what you
You
found
guys
out.
want to know what his IMDb credits are? Hippie, homeless person, rabbi, hippie, homeless person, rabbi. But he's under Aesop Aquarian, not his real name.
Put a pin in her. We're getting back to her later. She does not know what the hell is happening here.
Never gets not.
All right, now we're going to meet the actor who plays Charles Manson in this. You guys, he was also in a movie called Nothing But Besties, The Prom Dress. $10, I would love that movie. So, this queen's name is Ryan O'Connell, and basically, we lost it.
What? Oh,
Did I get too
God.
close?
Oh.
Okay, we're back. Oh God, we lost. Oh God, we're like, oh Ryan, stay with me, girl. Ryan, stay with me.
You guys, all he needs is claps to stay alive. It's like, he's an actor. Just give him a couple more likes on his Facebook professional actor page, and we can bring him back to life. He needs 3 more to get to 1,000 guys. We can do it.
I'm gonna keep talking. I'm just saying, nope, we lost it. Laura, we might need you to stand there the whole night. We gotta.
Well, we can talk about her behind her back.
Yeah. Well, anyway, get a good glimpse of Ryan because
Ryan.
we are gonna get into the wig department in this movie and the not great work that they did.
Yeah. Maybe Ryan's really method and just grew it out.
But also, if you're Charles Manson, that is the dream of like what you want to
Charles
play you in
Manson
the
on
movie.
his best puny 410 day.
Exactly.
No shade to someone who's a puny 10-4 person, but you're not a mass murderer or a cult leader, so...
If we can get this to work, you guys, I'm going to show you what it looks like when this guy acts. Are you ready to see? This is what it looks like when Ryan O'Connell acts.
Guitar in hand, Manson sets up at street corners and starts playing.
Get ready.
Gradually, he attracts followers.
People say that I'm no good. Yes! Juilliard trained, she is not.
Best day.
Yeah.
He did not sound or look like that person.
No. I am obsessed with Ryan O'Connell. Please do like his Facebook page, you guys. He's almost
Yeah,
there.
if it's out there, just Ryan O'Connell, we're here for you.
I love her. So, this is the point in the movie where we learn the backstory of Charlie Manson, right?
Yeah.
So he's been in jail most of his life, or like at least half of the time that he's been alive.
Yeah, he was always one of those guys who always, like, that's a thing that happens often. But his whole thing was like, I told you you shouldn't have let me out. Like, I deserve to be back there. He was in prison for, more than half his life.
So in 1962, he gets out of jail. It's, March 21st, 1967. He's 32 years old. He never knew his dad. I don't know why this stuck in my craw. They say his mother was a petty thief. And I was like, hey, she was really good at it, I bet.
She took it super seriously. Because she's a woman, it's petty. Let me tell you, because she's a woman, she got it done. Also, what's that applaud theory?
Right. You tricked them. It's like you asked them to applaud, then you yelled at them.
Ooh. Oh my God. Garbage bell for me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize.
So he moves to California to take advantage of these poor, dumb hippies.
Yeah, because we meet our friend. Yeah. Okay, I love him.
His name is John Douglas. Queen Jonathan Groff plays him on TV.
Yeah, everyone knows him as Groff Sauce. But so he's the guy. He was the first FBI profiler ever.
He invented profiling. What's that show on Netflix?
So the show Mindhunter
Yeah.
is based on the book that he wrote, and he's kind of fascinating. But the reason he's here is because he looks great in a sweater.
I love that sweater. I love that sweater.
Also, every single person in any documentary who's like survived a cult or cult adjacent has a fireplace that's not on. Doesn't matter. Go back to Wild Wild Country. They all have houses, beautiful houses on the beach with fireplaces. Just saying.
It's weird.
But John Douglas got this really incredible interview with Charles Manson, like in the late 70s-ish.
Yeah.
So what he tells us is that Charles Manson really was fascinated by the pimps in prison because garbage bells, they would know how to completely demoralize.
Yes.
And break down women.
Or find how to identify broken women as well.
Yeah, like with a broken wing, and then know how to be like, so I know what you want, and I know what you want, and I know what you want, and then I'm going to give you all of that. So Charles Manson.
Garbage.
I really love being a pimp. Oh yeah, and garbage, sorry.
Well, that takes us to the first person we're going to meet. You guys, her name is Snake. We're going to talk about it after we watch this video.
We're going to talk about her for the rest of our lives.
My name is Diane Lake. I was one of the first and the youngest member of the Manson family. I was 14 when I met Charlie.
Ryan.
That is so Ryan and not Charlie. That is so Ryan.
He expressed his love and adoration for me. It was a high. It was magic. It was an incredible upwelling of love and, joy. My mom and dad were not the warm, fuzzy, hugging variety. They really weren't. And I think that I needed to feel that.
Okay, so I have to go home and hug Daisy until she's dead. Bye, guys. I cannot handle this. She was 14 years old. So you were talking to me about this the other day, because that also means that Charlie is a pedophile.
A zillion.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, she was 14. Also, can I just to bring it not from pedophilia? Can I
yeah, let's move on from pedophilia.
Thank you, Fox, for telling us what the dramatization is and what is not the last tapes. They have that big, upper third of just, dramatization. We know that's not Charles Manson. And we know that, that weird, Instagram filter that you put on your video. We know it's not the lost tapes. Everybody calm down.
I also wanted to say that apparently we find out that in this cult you get to pick your own name. So we have other people, they choose Sadie, Brenda, Squeaky, Sandy. Well, she picks Snake.
Also,
Snake.
Nancy picked Brenda.
Wait, last note about Snake, although she comes back a lot. We pointed out she looks like she's doing great.
Right, yeah. Also, she's not Diane Lane or Veronica Lake, which I keep wanting to call her both. She is Diane Lake Snake.
All right, so we're going to find out. Remember Cutie Paul? We're going to find out how he found the family.
Oh, girl.
I love her. Bear with me. Okay, here we go.
Action. What is your name?
Paul Watkins.
How did you get in?
How did I get into the family?
Yes.
I was walking through Topanga Canyon and it was starting to get dark. I needed a place to sleep. It was just a house and I put it in the woods.
Can you guys tell what's real?
Who came? The prettiest girls I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I go into the door and it's Paul.
Snake.
Big puff of marijuana smoke hit me in the face. That's no good to me.
Okay, just before we go any farther, because I know we're all thinking it. I mean, come on. Do I have to again talk about the wig work in this movie? What is happening
It's the
here?
reverse of like, remember we were like, not on Charlie's best day does he look like Ryan O'Connell.
Right.
Not on that dude's best day does he look like Paul Walker.
I know. And just to break the story down a little bit, because when I first watched this, I was like, this cannot be real. This like super hot, gorgeous guy in 1962 is just in the middle of the night walking through the woods.
To quote Goldie Hawn from First Wives Club, it was the 60s. He's the luckiest guy in Runyon Canyon, just walking with his flute. Here's the thing, Paul would probably annoy the shit out of me in real life.
No!
Because he's the nicest, he's like the one that got away from the cult. Like, he's just the nicest, cutest one. He takes showers, you can see it.
Yeah. You know, remember like in the Three Identical Strangers episode where we were talking about
I heard that pause.
Yeah,
Three identical
strangers. They're called triplets, guys. Remember when like one of them showed up at the campus and everyone's like, "Hey, how are you?" And I was like, "Yeah, if that happened to me, I'd be like, that's about right.
That makes sense.
You're welcome that I'm here."
Right.
I feel like when Paul showed up on this like house of horny young girls, he's
With
like,
drugs, so
yeah.
they were just like, here's all the weed and LSD and
Yeah.
us, you can have it. He was like,
Yeah.
I'm home.
And then he goes in and he tells us that literally his words, you guys. Charlie lays out these girls for him.
Gross
Garbage. And then he says he agrees to stay for the summer because he has to help Charlie handle these women. Charlie can't handle it.
They're insatiable.
They're insatiable. These women cannot get off of him.
But the thing is, like, they were on LSD and brainwashed, and they kind of couldn't. And then it's like, all right, so Charlie's full of lice, and Paul Watkins is not.
All right, you guys, this is for sure my favorite part of the whole movie. Are you ready? You're gonna know why.
We all had to go through lots and lots of changes. All the guys had to get over all their homosexual things by doing everything that you could possibly think of doing with guys. And all the girls had to do everything they could possibly think of doing with girls.
Yeah, I like that part a lot. So, not to belabor the point.
They all did the gay stuff.
Did the
you
gay
guys.
stuff.
They all did the gay stuff. A lot of the gay stuff.
Did the gay stuff.
But Paul seems really fine with it. He's like, I did the gay stuff. Look at that awful chest tattoo.
Did all the gay stuff.
So basically in this cult, I feel really grateful that you were not around in this time. So if you like the gay stuff, tell me more. And then you'd be in there and you might be in prison for the rest of your life for murdering Sharon Tate.
It's true. The one thing that I will say about me, I wouldn't make a good cult member because I cannot stand any degree of being uncomfortable. Like, this chair is too hard and frankly, I'm pissed.
Girl, same.
I can't, like, if it's too hot, if it's too cold,
I
if
know.
it's too...
Ask Super Husband Mike. He
I
will
know.
tell you right now. I can't believe his hand didn't shoot up and be like, I'm married to you too.
But this is so weird too. Like, how do these cult leaders know to do this? This is where I find out that Charlie uses like sex to get inside their brains and to like manipulate them.
Yeah, he would turn sex. This is so exhausting. He would turn sex into like therapy sessions, and it's like, can we just have fun?
So he would either have sex with them or watch them have sex and ask them really deep questions.
Yeah, so he'd be like, hey, so here's the LSD. You want to take the LSD?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so tell me about your childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about your childhood. Was it awesome?
Yeah, no, my dad was really mean to me that one time.
Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that.
Yeah.
What are you craving? Do you need a sense of security or do you need freedom?
Does it look like I'm really good at the sex, you guys?
Don't answer that. You did great, Steve.
That was a lot of athleticism.
Steve, let's talk later.
So, okay, at this point, having manipulated all... Guys, I'm a little bit winded from all the fake sex. He decides... This is when Charlie decides he wants to, like, break in... It could have gone one of two ways. Super murdery or break into the music business.
He decided to take the long route and just try to go into the music business and then be murdering.
So this is when he sends out his girls, and they meet Dennis Wilson.
The Beach Boys.
Maybe did some of the gay stuff.
I just keep wanting to say Beastie Boys. I wanted to call everyone their wrong name.
I have a lot of questions about this.
Okay, I have some answers and a fun fact. So I'm going to start with the facts first and then a fun fact that is not included in this documentary.
Oh, I'm so excited.
May I?
I'm all ears.
Thank you for giving me permission. So Charlie's just like, hey girls, run around the beach, run around LA, go to like the Pacific Coast Highway, try to run into a rock star. Guys, they do. They literally are walking all like sexy. They haven't showered in weeks. And just actually bump into Dennis Wilson, who just happens to be incredibly famous at the time with the Beach Boys. Which you seem to not understand why they were famous.
So here are all my questions. It's not that I don't get that they were famous. It's that, like, in this movie, they're described as, like, Dennis Wilson in particular is described as, like, the most influential rocker of all time. And I'm like, I wish they all could be California. How does that make you a badass rock star?
I wasn't a badass rock star, but you had all the money for all the drugs and all the girls, which is kind of what Manson wanted, right?
Yeah.
So these girls, like actually do. It's like, oh man, what luck, right? They just like run into Dennis Wilson.
That is pretty weird.
So here's the story that's not in this documentary, but I'm a creep and I know this. So they run into him, and he's like, hey, like, sexy foxes or whatever they said back in the 60s. And they're very down to hang out. I'm just going to say that. They made it clear. And so Dennis asked them...
Meaning you're saying the girls are willing to fuck this guy.
They're DTF. Oh, gross. Garbage bell for me for saying that. So they jump into the car, and Dennis is like, do you want to go home for milk and cookies? Wink, wink. Sounds like a euphemism. Guess what? They had the milk and cookies. And then they had the orgy. And then they introduced Charles Manson, and then Charles Manson's like, great, I'm moving in. This sounds awesome. Charles Manson moves in with Dennis Wilson.
This is the other thing that I don't get. It's like, how do you let this crazy, creepy, stinky homeless guy in this band of, like, the crazy, creepy, stinky, homeless hookers and all the other, and then the hot guys doing all the gay stuff, just move into your house?
Let me tell you, I just landed on this. It's another musical reference. Damn Yankees, they were two lost souls. They loved, like, Dennis Wilson was like, I need spiritual guidance. He thought Charles Manson provided that. Ridiculous.
A lot of people did.
And Charles Manson thought, he was like, ooh, Hollywood. Money and drugs and girls, what's this?
Right. So, the whatever Wilson's name is, good friend, is this guy.
Dennis?
Dennis Wilson probably did some of the gay stuff, if we're being honest.
Honestly.
And so his good friend is Terry Melcher, this like big producer, this like music producer. Definitely did not do the gay stuff. Look at that face.
Terry Melcher has no time for your shit, you guys.
You think?
You think?
All right, we got. Melcher's like, I get a little.
Yeah.
But
Terry Melcher has no time for your shit, especially Charles Manson.
Not for Charles Manson. But you guys, fun. Here's what we learn about Terry Melcher. Guess who he's related to? His mom is Doris Day. Well, somebody knew. This one right here, her jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
His mustache was way too untrimmed to be her son.
I agree with that.
Look at those. Look at her. She looks exactly the same to this day. Doris Day, everybody. Here she is.
Guess who his girlfriend was at the time? Okay. I will say get a Lee Murphy Brown out of this. I've got a lot of questions.
Look at her.
First of all, Jillian, who's skinnier?
Oh, it's really close to you.
Yeah.
I have to give it to you.
Who has more hair?
Wait, let me look. Let me zoom in. It's another close one, but definitely you. Definitely
You guys, first of all,
definitely you.
Candace Bergen was so gorge. I cannot handle it.
Yeah, look at that pose. Look at that smolder.
How do you get the hair to do that?
You put bobby pins, girl. Are you gay or not?
When this picture came up on the screen, I stared at it for like 5 minutes.
And the thing is, the worst thing about this is that stupid Fox documentary that we're covering.
Yeah.
She was on and off like that. I was
I
like,
know.
can we go back and give it a pause, please? She was amazing.
She does look amazing. I had to
Also, Doris
screenshot
Day,
it.
like, are you kidding me?
So the long and the short of it is, what's his name, Wilson, gets Terry Melcher to listen to Charles Manson do like an audition.
Well, Terry Melcher is just around. Charles Manson pulls out his stupid guitar and is playing his stupid, shitty, horrible music, and Terry Melcher is just there.
Yeah.
So at this point, Charles Manson's like, "This is it. This is the big audition." It's like what Ryan O'Connell thought when he went to the audition for this documentary. He got it.
Right.
So Charles Manson's like, "This is it." Terry Melcher, oh my god! And Terry Melcher's like, "Can you get that weird fucking dirty hippie shit enough?" So Terry Melcher's like, "No, bitch." So the LSD and the girls.
Yeah. Terry Melcher said no, bitch. You guys have worked really hard at that.
It was actually the only, like, we didn't work on the joke, but you were like, end with the no bitch, and I'm like, on it. It's the only thing we rehearsed.
You guys are really proud of it. Okay, so when Terry Melcher says no, the Hollywood and like the Hollywood crowd become the enemy.
Right, because Charles Manson was super into it when he was living with Dennis Wilson and, like, hobnobbing. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, sure.
Rubbing elbows with famous people.
It sounds like the gay stuff.
They were totally hobnobbing at Dennis Wilson's house. And so then then he wanted to like be in the Hollywood crowd, and then Terry Melcher was like, no. And so now he's like, well, now I have to kill all of you. Now I have to kill you.
They move to this, they go 30 miles outside of LA, right? And they go to this new like location called Spawn Ranch. Here, let's give a little info on Spawn Ranch.
Okay.
They settle at a horse ranch around 30 miles north of Los Angeles.
Schreiber.
Spawn Ranch. It was private. You know, it had that interesting little flair because it's been in a lot of Western movies, but there also was like a facade of a saloon, and, you know, they rented horses for horseback riding.
Spawn Ranch sat on old Highway 70. It was a place.
Windy.
Yeah, it had its own magic. My job was looking after horses and the cowboys, the people that worked on Spawn's Ranch. A place like that isn't actually a job. It's a way of living.
Okay, so we're obsessed with Wendy. You guys, I had to cut like 4 more videos of Wendy being like, those dirty girls were dumb sluts and I didn't take off my bra. Like I had to
She's basically the Sheila from Wild Wild Country.
She is.
She's literally like, get to work, you goddamn hippies. That's her job.
Yeah.
She's a goddamn hippie who gets to work.
I'm obsessed with her.
She's amazing.
She tells the story of when Charles Manson comes in and he like busts through the door and he's like, I am Charles Manson, and she goes, I don't give a hell who you are.
She's get the hell out of my house!
We need to bring back I don't give a hell.
Yeah. Well, we need to bring back Wendy. Wendy!
I know.
From Spawn Ranch, ladies and gentlemen.
Her and Doris Day have been pounding the cocktails in the green room.
Can you imagine?
That'd be amazing. You know they would be, I don't know, I can only imagine.
They would be thick as thieves. They both have stories to tell.
So during this time at Spawn Ranch, this is when like the community is growing a bit.
And so here's the thing. George Spawn was basically, let me paint a picture. We haven't said that.
Oh, welcome back, girl.
Thanks, girl. George Spawn is basically like Anna Nicole Smith's husband.
Yeah.
Like that kind of older, recluse of a guy. And so the deal was that the Manson family could live in Spawn's Ranch if the girls took care of George Spawn. And they did happily. I know, I hear that gasp.
It means have sex.
Yeah, and so then we get like this clip of Snake being like, some of us had to shovel poop. But some of us he had requests for, and they were all like fine with it. And so during this time, everyone was on LSD, everyone was having sex, and then the isolation starts.
Yeah. Well, hey, before we get to the isolation and the drugs, we have to tell them how they ate.
Oh,
You guys, they didn't need, oh, I know, sweetheart, it gets so much worse. So you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's just get to it. They didn't need money, you guys, because of this.
We didn't need food. Charlie showed us how to get food out of the dumpsters at the back of the grocery stores.
You wouldn't believe what we get out of the garbage cans today. We got a whole watermelon, 6 boxes of bananas, 4 boxes of oranges,
Don't forget the artichokes.
artichokes.
Don't forget the artichokes.
We wash it off and make fruit salads. We ate very well, actually.
You guys, that is potato salad.
And then she's gonna serve it garbage, melt for garbage.
She is eating potato salad out of a dumpster in California that's been in the dumpster for at least 10 hours and it's really fucking hot there.
And then she's gonna like give it to all of you.
Also, I really want some potato
Also,
salad.
no one, not a shoe in sight. It's just no one has showered.
Did you see that girl that's like perched on the dumpster with no shoes? She's like,
what on earth?
I just feel like I can't not imagine a world in which the bottom of that isn't filled with glass and nails.
Totally, but they were like, it was fun, it was good. We were eating potato salad, 12 hours old, and we were thrilled.
Yeah.
We were young, it was the 60s, what are we going to do about it? Burger people is how this story ends.
So, as you were saying, this is when we get into like the isolation and the drugs, and like we find out that there was no calendars or clocks.
Yeah.
There was no like newspapers or magazines, so the only thing that they talked about was like Charlie being Jesus Christ. This is where they say that they watched him bring a bird back to life. Have you guys been following my Insta stories?
Look, you guys,
Hashtag gay magic.
Hashtag gay magic. The Patrick Hines story. Forward by Jillian Manson. But the thing is, if you've been I have not been on LSD ever.
Same.
But if you've been on LSD for like a year, you're probably seeing some shit, which might be like Charles Manson bringing a bird back to life, or you'd hear about it and be like, I totally really believe that. And I'm like, girl, is the purple frog here too? Can you see the purple frog now? Can you see the unicorn now, sweetheart? With the LSD constantly.
I only ever see unicorns. So this is where this is
Patrick Hines story.
So now Charlie, so this is what always happens with these cult leaders, right? Especially like the hot skinny ones. I don't know why I said that.
Patrick?
Sorry. They're just like, they always get crazy and paranoid.
Won't have it. I will not. I'm not even looking at you right now. You have to earn my mad at
I know. We had a deal, though. Pre-swastika on the forehead, I was able to say he was kind of cute.
No, that our deal was that maybe, perhaps, a fraction of a percent, maybe we could have a conversation about me perhaps being okay with it pre-swastika.
Oh, you know what I haven't done yet? You guys, wait, are you ready for my Charles Manson impression? These mics are expensive, Daniel. I'm sorry. I'll be more careful. Okay, ready?
Daniel, can we have another Justini? You're still too tall. You're still too tall for him.
Just like
you're
short
still
and angry.
You're still too beautiful and like gorgeous from within. He
Thank
does
you. Oh, we hold this so I don't drop it.
You're gonna be sweating in 4 seconds.
This is being memorialized. Hey, girl.
You just grabbed that mic out of my hand like I was here for you.
Anyway, I'm not with Jillian Pensavale. Good night, everybody. Anyway, the race war is coming. And Charles Manson's proof of this, of course, is the Beatles.
The Beatles. Here we go.
Nope, hang on.
You guessed it, the Beatles. This rock and roll group has taken over as the kingpins of musical appreciation among the younger element.
In November 1968, the Beatles released their White Album. Manson becomes obsessed.
Charlie played it forwards and backwards, and he played it over and over again. He said, the Beatles are sending me a message that it's time. Black man was going to take over the world.
There was a song called Helter Skelter about people who were at the bottom of the slide of society getting back to the top. According to Manson, these were the blacks.
The Beatles now were confirming that it was all true.
Ryan O'Connell.
It was crazy thinking.
Snake, if I may. One, Fox absolutely can't get the rights to the Beatles. Could not play Helter Skelter for 4 seconds. They just had to do that distortion thing. Also, we will thank you to leave Murphy Brown out of this. I will thank you to leave Sir Paul McCartney out of this. You think somewhere, and this is an impression of an impression of an impression, but that Sir Paul is like, I'm Paul and I play the guitar and didgeridoo and race war. Like, no, bitch! The 60s were full of racial turmoil. And like, that was the thing that was happening that Charles Manson was just like, I'm gonna jump on that real quick. Maybe get some more free LSD and a couple murders out of it and bing bang boom, here we go.
Wait, can we take a little intermission? Can we hold this for a second? You guys, I want to do this and then I'm going to take and then I'm going to take this wig off. I just want to go through the hairstyles I wish I could have had. Ready? We're going to do this real quick. Go side pony. Like high pony.
Top knot? Is there a top knot?
And oh wait, yeah, Ariana Grande, and then like a top knot.
It's you know, look, if I didn't know exactly how you do Daisy's hair flawlessly, I'd be so worried for Daisy and her amazing hair.
I do a mean top knot.
Because she looks perfect.
Yeah.
You with that wig was a great intermission.
So this is when the videos start to get nuts because we start to see more of like the family, and this is like reaction sort of after the fact.
Because now Charles Manson's like, hey, you guys, there's a race war coming.
Yeah.
Don't know if you guys also bought the White Album, but it's happening. So says Sir Paul.
And so this is like the reaction. This is like him. This is the opinion of the women that live on the ranch who were like willing and ready and able to kill for him. And you guys, Squeaky Fro makes her debut here.
They have since shaved their heads because he's been arrested. Remember, all of this footage is from after his arrest.
Watch Squeaky until the very end. This shit gets crazy.
And not miss her.
Yeah.
Mark. Sandy, Brenda, Squeaky, 6, take 1, roll 210.
We're always ready.
The new thought is to be a strong reflection of the Father. Now I'm just finding out about this, see? And it feels good. It feels good to know.
He issued us all buck knives and showed us the most effective way to kill someone. He said you have to be willing to kill in order to not be killed.
If you want it, here it is. Come and get it. But you better hurry, because it won't be here long.
Sweetie Frome, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God.
You guys, wait. We have to talk about this. Look at how happy she is to be singing about the race war.
Thank you so much. What
Is that for us?
I'm sorry. Blessing.
What a
And you
beautiful-
sure are. Thank you so much.
This is just terrifying because of how scary they all are, how much she looks like Anne Heche. Look at her. Which one's crazier? I don't know.
What's her name? Brenda, who chose Sandy.
And this one never stops smiling. I watched a video, like a video of her from like a talk show in the 90s, where she was like yelling at Sharon Tate's sister about how like she doesn't like they got it all wrong. It's
I want to
crazy.
throw this shit at
I know,
her.
it's so nuts. You guys, this is just the beginning of these videos with these ladies. It is out of control.
Ladies!
But now we have to talk about the murder of Gary Hinman. Gary, girl, I'm sorry, this is the only photo of you on the internet.
I know.
It's really-
I know. This is like, you guys, sometimes it's going to be a little bit of a downer. It's
I
Charles
know.
Manson. So Gary Hinman was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
And he was
Bad photo taker.
Bad photo taker. Drug dealer, bad photo taker. Two things I hope to never be. And he was selling drugs to Bobby Beausoleil. Remember when we were talking about the gay stuff? And you were like, did the gay stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
This is one of Bobby Beausoleil's worst days. Earlier, when it was like, obviously he did the gay stuff. So he was selling drugs to Bobby Beausoleil. Bobby Beausoleil was trying to sell it on the street. Came back to Gary Hinman and was like, girl, get some bad Yelp reviews about the drugs you're selling. So they go to Gary Hinman's place and they're just like, hey, it's like every drug deal that's gone bad you've ever heard, ever. So Gary Hinman's like, sir, my drugs are excellent.
And how very dare you?
And how very dare you? Oh, well, thank you. Leave Murphy Brown and myself out of this. So Bobby Beausoleil brings like Sadie and a couple women that Gary Hinman have already been sleeping with. Sexy Sadie, not at all. Murderous Sadie, Susan Atkins, and Mary Berner. So they like are there because the girl they were always using the women to like distract the guys with sex or whatever. So he was like, my good sir, I am not giving you back that money. My drugs are excellent. So the girls were like, Charlie, he's being like a total drag. And so Charlie comes over with a samurai sword. How and where he gets it, we don't know.
Get ready for Ryan O'Connell to do some acting, guys.
Charlie gets a samurai sword. He takes the sword to the house.
Once you show up with a sword, things will not end well.
Thanks, girl. I literally included that so I can have that queen be like, when you show up with a samurai sword, things don't end well.
Look at this one, too.
I know.
Acting for my life.
I know.
Please go like that person's Facebook page. Professional acting page, whatever they are.
So what happens? You guys, this is so awful. This poor guy, Bobby Beausoleil, Charlie is like, you know what you have to do, girl. I want to see you become a man. He gives Beausoleil the sword, and in Beausoleil's own telling, because we get Beausoleil on the phone, and
From
he's
prison.
like, from prison, not from like vacation in Hawaii.
Can you imagine if he's
No.
like, hold for Bobby Beausoleil?
Yeah, exactly. But Bobby Beausoleil tells this horrible story about taking the samurai sword and stabbing him twice, and like in his telling, I just imagine it's like exactly what would happen if I murdered a guy. I was like,
Live footage of Bobby Beausoleil hating himself, having to do something that Charles Manson told him to do. Live footage right
it's
here.
really true. It's like Bobby Beausoleil, it just was so funny. I was like, girl, that's exactly how I would do it.
It's weird because we watch a lot of true crime documentaries.
True.
Thanks for coming. Welcome to True Crime Obsessed. But it's rare to hear someone, like, he's not a Marjorie Deal. You know what I mean? Like, Bobby Beausoleil from prison is like, I hated it. He was my friend. It never should have happened. I didn't want to, but the reason he killed him, because Charles Manson, also slashed poor Gary Hinman's ear off with the samurai sword.
It
And
didn't
Charles
end well.
Manson's like, finish it, girl. And he's like, I don't want to. But Bobby Beausoleil is like, well, if I don't do it, Gary Hinman will tell on us.
Uh-huh.
So we have to kill him. Bobby Mussolini kills him, drives...
He gets in Gary Hinman's car, literally drives like 25 yards down the street, takes a nap.
Falls asleep.
Yeah, because we hear the story where he's like...
Well, it must be exhausting
It's true.
to be mentally and emotionally abused and then have to kill somebody.
I know.
Will, not even looking.
Like 25 minutes later, the cops are like have him roll down the window like, did you just kill that guy?
He's like, oh shit.
I totally
Isn't
did.
it horrible?
I know.
Like, the awful irony is that, like, Bobby Mussolini told on himself.
It's
he
awful.
killed Gary Hinman so that he wouldn't tell Bobby girl. God.
I know.
Get it together.
All right, you guys, it's time. It's really getting time for the race war.
Well, according to Charlie, TikTok, it's 4 o'clock. He can't believe it hasn't happened yet. He hasn't told a single person about it, but he thinks because the Beatles said something, like everyone's kind of on the same page. No one's on the same page.
And we get this story from the mean guy from E.T. where he's like, I was living with like the head of the Hells Angels of Los Angeles, and Charles Manson came over and was like, can you just go out and start killing some black people, please?
And here's the thing with the Hells Angels. Could have gone either way.
Unless they're here, in which case they were never going to do it.
Right, no. And thanks for protecting us.
Yeah, totally.
And the guy was just like, no, bitch.
No.
If you want to do, I'm not going to start killing black people on the street. If you want to do it yourself, and good luck to you. And Charles Manson kind of took that seriously.
Yeah.
And starts it himself.
So here we go. It's August 8th, 1969. Just a month after the Stonewall Riots, you guys.
On the evening of August 8th, 1969, Charles Manson selects his most trusted for a mission that will haunt U.S. history.
Manson told his followers that this would be the ignition point for Helter Skelter.
Charles Tex Watson
did all the gay stuff.
23-year-old ex-high school football star.
All of it.
Patricia Krennickel, 21, a one-time church choir member. And Susan Atkins, also 21, a former Girl Scout. They'll be driven to the one-time home of Terry Melcher, the man who rejected Manson for a record deal.
That way.
10,050 Cielo Drive.
Okay, lots to unpack here. One, Terry Melcher is Dorsey's son. And Bernie Brown's boyfriend. That's really who he is. So Manson kind of knew, actually totally knew, that Terry Melcher does not live at this address anymore.
Yeah.
But he still is holding out for that record deal, so he doesn't want to kill Terry Melcher just in case.
Right, exactly.
In case Terry Melcher's like, can't get that creepy song out of my head. Get me that kid. What's his name? Charlie? Get him in my office.
Wait, we need to talk about, maybe this is where you're going.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of like humanizing these murderers.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's humanizing. I think it's sensationalizing. Fox. You're super foxy. I'm talking about Fox.
Oh,
whatever.
thank you, girl.
So it's like Sadie Atkins Susan Atkins went to like choir practice
One time.
and like threw a fit and ran out. So it's like, let's sensationalize. So she murdered people. What's the purest thing she's ever done that one time? What's her name was a brownie.
Right.
And probably scared the shit out of everyone and was kicked out. Tex Watson, we get it. His dad's super disappointed. More in the gay stuff than the murder. But we get it. Like, they were all normal kids.
It's just that they were like
20.
You could have just as easily been like one-time murderer, Tex Atkins.
Yeah, like 86-time acid taker.
Right.
72-time orgy participant.
Stinky
like, that's
joiner
more
of a
real.
cult, crazy,
Yeah.
smelly person. It's just that, like the whole Girl Scout. It's amazing. So, okay, let's go through what happens because it's pretty awful.
Yeah, so you guys, what is it? If you want your drinks on, if you want drinks, you turn the lights off.
Yeah, this might be a good
Everyone's
time.
lights should be off.
This is really bad, you guys. We're not gonna like go into detail because the documentary doesn't about like what really happened to these people.
Yeah.
But we are like, there's one really really bad part. So if you want to close your ears and think about Paul Watkins doing the gay stuff, I totally get that.
But we're gonna just out of respect for what happened. Everyone knows what happened, but here we go.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Also, the documentary did this all out of order. Like they have these headshots where it's like, girl, none of them are connected.
It's
anyway.
also the worst shot of Sharon Tate ever.
She's doing our move. And she looks fantastic, girl. What are you looking at?
She's so...
Anyway, so we're gonna just jump around. Just bear with me. So Wojciech Frankowski. Try saying that 4 times fast.
It took me 45 minutes to spell that. I was like, whatever.
Right. Is kind of with, but not really, with Abigail Folger, who is the heiress to the Folger coffee thing. Who, did you guys watch this on Hulu? I watched this on Hulu. Did you see the Folger's coffee commercial after the segment? What the fuck? I was like, oh, come on. I gasped so hard. And no longer with us. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, she was going to be the next Audrey Hepburn. Like, not really.
Oh my God!
She was gorgeous. I'm just saying, but everyone's like, she was going to be an Academy Award winning, like, it's what happened is tragic. I'm not throwing shade at that. But you know, when everyone's like, they were going to be fantastic. Like, no. She's married to a piece of shit named Roman Polanski, who we're not talking about at all.
Tell them about how J.C. Bring's not gay.
How what? Oh, yeah. So J.C. Bring was Sharon's best friend / ex-lover / hairstylist to the stars. Allegedly didn't do all the gay stuff. Rob, look at that pose.
I know, hey girl.
Did a little gay stuff. And poor Stephen Parent, who is a teenager, he's a kid, he's actually just visiting the caretaker at the house.
Yeah.
So this was a dinner party that Sharon Tate was having with all her friends. I'm sorry, I'm not throwing shade to Sharon Tate, I'm so sorry about that. I'm just saying, like, now, like, the reason we know about this cult so much is because they were, like, all famous Hollywood people. You know what I mean? There are cults we don't really know that much about.
It's true, you're right.
You know?
So what they were trying to do was, they were trying to make it look like the Black Panthers did this. Right. You guys, the thing about the people we cover in these documentaries, they're never good at murdering.
Right.
They're so bad at this. So they scrawled the word pig in one of their blood on one of the doors. And so it's like, oh, the Panthers did this.
Right. He's trying to spark the race war because TikTok.
Right,
it's
exactly.
So long.
And so, I skipped the thing, but, so we know that the injuries that were suffered, there was 102 stab wounds. 3 of them were shot. 1 was pounded on the head with the butt of a gun to the point where the gun butt broke. There's a picture of it.
That's awful.
And I don't want to say this. They did a really horrible thing to Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate was 8.5 months pregnant, and then we're going to just go right to the next slide.
So the next day, race war still has not started. Charles Manson cannot figure out what the fuck is going on.
Because he goes home, they go back to the ranch, they don't tell anybody.
Right.
And Charles Manson's like, excuse me.
Yeah. It's really...
Where's this race war I ordered?
So then, did the dude turn your light off or on for that? I can't remember.
I don't know. Whatever, just get whatever you need because it's getting worse.
So the next night they spent 4 hours driving around Los Angeles.
Which was terrifying because it was truly at random.
Yeah, they were looking just for people to kill. They end up at the home of Rosemary and Lino LaBianca.
Yeah, and so they murder them viciously.
Yeah.
And so, but Charlie Manson gave them more instructions, right? Right, more words that would kind of lead everyone to think that it was the Black Panthers. And also, steal someone's wallet. They ended up stealing Rosemary's. And please plant it in a... quote, black neighborhood. So that a black person would use the credit cards and then be framed for the murders. And Charlie thinks that the police department is smart enough to think these 2 crimes are connected.
Yeah, because this is what happens is that, well, first of all, they write these words all over the house in blood, and we'll just get to the bad one. They write Helter Skelter on the refrigerator.
Sadie girl can't even spell it right.
Yeah.
She writes Hilter. How are you going to start the race war TikTok if you can't even spell it right?
Yeah. It's just awful. And then we get another video of those 3 girls talking, again, this is after the fact, but saying that, like, it's a little hard to hear. The filmmaker says, why, like, did you ask why they wanted you to kill the LaBiancas? And this is the response.
And then why did LaBianca the next night?
No why. We never ask why.
If you had to kill more, you'd kill more.
Whatever we have to do. Whatever. We leave our house open to the soul. We leave our mind open.
It's so terrifying, but I want to say before I forget, I'm kind of into that hat number she's wearing. What?
Who looks better in boy shorts, me or Squeaky?
For sure you, but which one is skinnier? Look how skinny she is.
Girl, how many times have I said you? Bulldozer,
You look way better in boy shorts.
Thank you.
I'm glad you mentioned the bulldozer.
Oh, I didn't even...
Getting to our next segment. So what happens is now they've committed these murders, they're waiting for the race war to start, they've got to go further into the desert, right? And Charlie, like a dumb boy,
such a dumb boy,
just like gets into the desert, they see what they're calling an earth mover, and Charles Manson is like, let's blow that shit up. They just blow up this, what we're being told is an earth mover. Both Julian and I had to give it a goog. You guys, it's a fucking tractor. It's a tractor. And Gypsy was the member of the family that kept saying earth mover. I was like, Gypsy girl, what is that? It's a tractor.
Also, that is a picture of a child's toy.
What? No! No, that's a tractor.
Well, it's a great picture. I love it. It really pops. Everyone in the back can see it. But that is like the Hess trucks here.
You guys, I had to scroll. I had to scroll Google images
It
for
doesn't mean you did a bad job.
What I'm saying is, none of them had the Scoopy thing. It took me forever to find the scooper.
Just call it a tractor.
It's not a tractor.
You wouldn't even be here if they just called it what it was.
I was trying to find a picture of a tractor, and all of them had the thing minus the Scoopy thing, and I thought nobody would know what an earth mover was.
Are there tractors without Scoopy things?
There seems to be plenty of them on the internet.
Okay, well that's ridiculous. That's going to be our next true crime documentary. How dare you?
Right.
Justice for Scoopy things.
So then we get...
Johnny Manson story.
God, I'm such a gay. So they're living in the desert, right? And remember, these murders have happened.
Right.
The police are bungling this investigation.
Right, so there are 2 murders and 2 different police squads, and so here's how I think it's happening.
Right. The police do not see them as connected.
I see it as like they're in the coffee room, and it's like, hey Chuck, hey Hank, can you believe that there are these two murders? Everyone's been stabbed. Everyone's writing suspiciously Black Panther-y words and their own blood. I can't piece it together. And Hank is like, Charlie, me too. I have no idea what's going on. Enter Brenda with the coffee. Brenda's like, maybe they're connected if they both have the words.
Brenda, I like your boobs.
Thanks. Maybe they're connected.
Hey, Brenda, smile.
Yeah, I think maybe if you guys
hey,
hear what you're
Brenda,
actually
you got a
saying to
nice
each other,
fanny.
it's that they both wrote words in blood. I know, thank you.
Okay,
they
Brenda. Hey, Brenda,
they both wrote words in blood. It's the same fucking people.
Why has this broad got a job?
Brenda, meet me at the bar, girl. I'm here for you.
So, real quick, what happens is the cops come and they arrest these assholes for blowing up the earth mover.
It's like a government piece of equipment or whatever.
They kick in the door and everyone's like, oh shit, they found out about the murders. No. They are there to arrest them for the earth mover.
And as they're arrested, they're like, we murdered all those people. They have no idea. They didn't about that thing, that earth mover. And everyone's like, Gypsy, goddammit, just call it a tractor. She's like, well, we killed all those people. They have no idea.
No, and so they send all these people to jail for blowing up a tractor, which I'm also like, why did they arrest all of them? But they did. Susan Atkins, the mouthy one of the group, she's the Patrick Hines of the group. Yeah. Because, like me, if I did something, now I'm most likely never going to murder anybody, but if I did, I would totally tell everyone. And Susan
we make a podcast about it,
right.
And then, wonder how you got caught.
So Susan Atkins cannot keep her mouth shut. She gets this roommate,
singing like a goddamn
Ronnie Howard, and she basically just tells Ronnie Howard everything that happened.
159.
What is your name?
My name is Ronnie Howard.
And the lost tapes reveal how Atkins unwittingly gives the game away.
She was telling me about different things that she thought would shock me, and I told her nothing shocks me. And she said, well, I think I can tell you a few things that would shock you.
You guys, she had to tease her bangs for this.
As someone with bangs.
Yeah.
You just want it flat. You don't want the spaces. Do you see? Maybe because I'm not from the 60s and I have not been in prison, but you don't want all those spaces like that, sweetheart. You don't want to look like a sweaty mess. Right?
So this Ronnie Howard gets Susan Atkins to tell her everything. Again, if you're squeamish and you don't want to hear really awful stuff, plug your ears and think about Paul Watkins doing the gay stuff. Oh, and also Alanis Morissette was apparently in this. What does she have to do with this? Jesus.
I asked her if you were really there. I said, who really killed Sharon Tate? And she told me that she killed Sharon Tate. She said she was the one that stabbed her. Every time she screamed, she'd stab her again, and she just kept stabbing her until she stopped screaming. And she said, it sent a hot rush all the way through her body.
You guys watch this.
And she told me that to stab somebody is better than having a climax.
She has a climax saying the word climax. It's better than having a climax. Oh my God.
I think that she's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
All right, we're going to go fast with this because we're getting to the end. Basically, Susan Atkins tells her that there was going to be all these other murders, these famous people.
She can't help herself. Susan Atkins, blows the case wide open.
Yeah, exactly. We had this bit, I have to say this, where we're like, what are they all thinking? And I was just thinking, Liz Taylor's like, look at those tits.
Yeah. We're all on, the murder list.
Oh, they didn't like it when I said tits.
I love doing these tips. Say it loud. Literally, no, you do this thing louder for the people in the back.
So, whatever. Ronnie Howard drops a dime, and she calls and tells everybody.
Please explain what that means, because I didn't know what that meant.
Ronnie Howard calls the cops, and she's like, you know those people you have in for arson? They murdered all those people.
Right. And which is why Ronnie Howard is out of prison and telling us the story.
Exactly.
Because I think she made a good trade.
And so these are the 3 girls, women, whatever, that get, the same murder charge as Charlie.
Yeah.
And then, you guys, because we said we'd get back to this, remember her? Aesop, confused person?
Okay, so this was the biggest news ever, only because, they finally got the person terrorizing LA, right? And because these girls were shaving their heads, and, Squeaky, came to fame in this time, everyone was like, oh my god. It's all over the news. This bitch is making, a pot of tea or whatever the fuck, and sees this on the news, and is like, well, I just simply must be going. When the arrest happened, this bitch leaves all the lights on, the TV report, the boiling tea, and just walks out the door.
To join the cult!
Walks to Spawn Ranch plus 30 miles to get to the Manson cult, because he just felt it was real full of y'all.
And then,
so, to get there.
To be clear, he joined the cult after they were charged with the murder. So then he gets there, he's there for a week. They tell him, hey girl, we need you to go murder that judge. That's gonna maybe sentence Charlie to death. Aesop Aquarian cannot believe what she has just heard.
I felt my jaw drop to the ground. You want me to what?
Girl, you want me to
We want you to kill the judge. That'll show him that we're serious, and that'll get Charlie out. Are you for real? And she said, yeah. My first thought was, what the hell am I doing here? I don't think that was the next day that I left, but it could have been.
It maybe wasn't the next day!
And then they get the video of him. This is actually him thumbing a ride on the highway. Who shot that?
That is the person who's like, am I making the right decision? Should I stay? Should I stay?
Aesop J. Aquarian, I have some words for you.
Aesop, Ms. Mark Cohen, or whatever her name is, she runs, walked there, I think forgot, and just woke up at the Manson family and was like, well, I'm here now. I certainly can't get home.
So, okay, we're getting to the end. So what happens is they're getting Charlie, but they can't really get him. They need somebody on the inside to turn on him. Who do they lean on? Snake. Snake, that poor 14-year-old girl, she's a mess. She's been on LSD for 2 years, but whatever, she's gonna do it. Here's what happens when the crazy ladies at the ranch find out that she's gonna testify against Charlie.
Sandy, Brenda, Squeaky, 4, take 1, roll 209.
As Lake prepares to testify against Manson,
Look at that shade.
the tapes reveal what her former friends think of her.
She's a very young girl, and by the time the DAs had gotten through with her, she was speaking their language. She's just like a baby. She can be molded whatever way anyone chooses to mold her.
I'm sure that's what they believed, that I had been swallowed up, that I was being manipulated.
Snake around her neck. Shade.
The shade of it all. Also, Brenda, Sandy, whatever the fuck, that's exactly what Charles Manson's doing to all of you.
So,
you not get that?
She does testify, you guys, and this is what she wears. She is a fashion warrior.
Yeah, that her lawyer is just like, you were like a crazy hippie, non-bra wearing person. You need to be the most conservative person ever. And in 1970, that's what the most conservative women were wearing.
You can't see this, but she does wear a bra, and you can see she's like,
You guys also, our new favorite game, necktie or scarf?
We don't know. Peter Pan collar, we're not really sure what's happening here.
Peter Pan collar, I can't.
Alright, so that's it. So Charlie, and they all get convicted, they get sentenced to death. They get turned into life in jail when they abolish the death penalty. We're gonna give you some updates. Snake is reportedly happy.
Yep.
According to what? CielloDrive.com.
CielloDrive.com, the creepiest website to ever exist.
Cielo Drive. She's reportedly happy. Good for her. Look at her. Squeaky from So Crazy somehow gets to be a character in a Broadway show.
Assassins?
Yeah. All right, Queen.
Because she tried to kill Gerald Ford, and it didn't happen because of her gun one didn't work. So
She lives 4 hours from here. Jillian found all these stories about how like she's kind of a recluse, but she gardens.
she gardens, but she's married to someone who works at the correctional facility that good old Jarul served time at.
You guys, Ronnie Howard died in 1979 tragically. This is a horrible story. I'm going to do it fast. She got married. She was all good. She got married. She was coming home from a trip with her husband. She got, you guys, I'm not kidding, kidnapped by a taxi driver.
Oh my God.
Who then like hit her in the head, but she got away. Gave all the money. She gets home. She's like, guys, I have a headache. They're like, no, you don't, sweetheart. I have a headache. No, you don't, sweetheart. She goes to the doctor. The doctor that pats her on the head is like, get out of here. She died 10 days later from like the wounds from her head.
I love Ronnie.
You guys, Ryan O'Connell would really like you to like his Facebook page.
3 likes away from 1,000, please. That's not really.
And this bitch is dead.
Yay, she's dead!
We thought we'd give you a gay kick line.
I YouTubed gay kick line, and this is what came up. The rockets in reindeer outfits.
That's our show! We are doing our Pride show in June. Shut up, reindeer! Pride show in June. We'd love for you to come. We're going to be at the bar after our second show tonight. Come hang out with us. We cannot thank you enough for coming out to see us live.
Yes, thank you.
Doing this with you live is my favorite fucking thing in the whole world.
It's pretty great, you guys.
I am so grateful that we get to do this. I love you.
love
Mike
you.
and Steve, we couldn't do
Yes,
this without
thank
you. We
you.
love you so much.